So, if you saw my last video, you know I sort of dated my wife for a number of years before we got together in real life. I drove from Kentucky to Minnesota and we moved into a house that was owned by her father. We lived with her sister and her sister's husband. Let's call them Dana and Dan. Renting out the basement, it was really cramped and we got really cold sometimes, so we had to buy space heaters. I did all the dishes by hand and developed eczema in my palms, and the bathroom was pretty tiny. Not ideal living conditions, but we made it work and we were very much in love, so that made a lot of things easier to endure while we were finding our feet as a couple. There was one incident or two that sticks out, though. When I arrived, for the first month, we were, like rabbits. Let's just put it that way so I don't get demonetized. That included taking long showers together in the phone booth-sized shower stall that was downstairs. There was really no bath. One day, while we were in there, scrubbing, Dan goes to get the mail and sees that we have a letter or two. So what does a nice housemate do? He brings it down to us, of course. But we were in the shower, scrubbing, and he decides he has to leave our mail on the little coffee table in our main sitting area instead. Could have kept it upstairs for us to find, but no, he has to leave our mail there that says, "I totally heard you" in there. Embarrassing, but true. We never spoke of it again. Anyway, while I was finding work and we were settling in, I decided that we needed a sort of activity together, me and her. Something we could bond over since we were cohabitating and all that. Since we were both into video games and RPGs, I went and got the first Skylanders game for us to play together. Now, if you don't remember Skylanders, it was a wildly popular Toys to Life sort of game that predates Amiibo, Disney Infinity, and all those other buy toys to get characters and items in game stuff that's out today. Skylanders did it first, and Skylanders did it best. We ended up obsessing over them for a very, very long time, but it was something we could do together and have a lot of fun with. My wife is very anti-PvP, anti-competition, anti-working against another person when it comes to me, so it was nice to have a game we could work together on. Eventually, we 100%ed the game, collected every Skylander toy in the set, and we were set in the fandom. Now, don't judge. Everybody has hobbies, but I don't want to know how many thousands of dollars we spent on Skylanders over the next 6 years or so while the series was going on. The series spawned 6 mainline games and hundreds of these little buggers. But we had a lot of fun together, and that was the first game series that we played and played and played together while we were getting our first apartment. Some people like to think that Skylanders are like collector's items now, but really they're no different than Pokemon cards or Pogs or Spin Fighters, if you remember those. They're not really worth anything today now that the craze is kind of over, but we still have a bunch of them. A bunch of them. And we do get them out now and again to replay the games. It's a lot of fun. Do you and your significant other have any sort of game or activity that you do together? Tell me in the comments below. Let's get some audience engagement going on here. So my wife and I were a Skylanders couple. What do you and your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend do together?